Over the years, we have joked a lot about how Skyrim gets ported everywhere from consoles and every generation that comes along to, microwaves to pregnancy tests. We have seen new edition after new edition after new edition that charges for the game all over again or that charges for some kind of upgrade path. But it's a joke that gets less and less funny with time because of how much Bethesda charges for essentially the same game over and over and over again, with incremental updates that do not justify the kind of price point that they charge. And the most egregious example of this yet is the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition on Nintendo Switch, which surprise dropped on the Nintendo hardware. And this is the announcement from Nintendo of America. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Anniversary Edition upgrade and bundle are available now on Nintendo Switch. Celebrate 10 years of adventure with new quests, armor, gameplay modes, and more. Now you might be thinking, don't tell me Bethesda's charging a full $60 for this Anniversary Edition on Switch. It's worse than that. Look at this bull crap. If you go to the Nintendo eShop right now, you'll find that the Anniversary Edition of Skyrim on Nintendo Switch is $70. They're treating this like it's a brand new game released on next generation hardware. $70. As for what this upgraded Anniversary Edition comes with, according to the description, the Anniversary Edition includes a decade's worth of content, the critically acclaimed core game and add-ons of Skyrim Special Edition, plus pre-existing and new content from Creation Club, including quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons, spells, and more. The extra content is cool and all, but does it justify the $70 premium price point that people will only consider if a game is truly brand new and truly feels next-gen or current-gen, whatever you want to call it? No, it's not worth that at all, especially when we're talking about a game that's 11 years old, whose value continues to depreciate over time. You know what else depreciates over time? Your hair. Which brings us to the sponsor of today's video, Keeps. If there's one thing that I am a little vain about, it's my hair, which I hope to keep as much of around by the time I turn 35. Because that's the age when 2 out of 3 guys experience some form of hair loss. And so Keeps specializes in turning those odds in your favor through clinically proven and research-backed treatments that aim to prevent hair loss and improve hair growth. And the earlier you start, the better, because once you lose the hair, it's pretty hard to get back, so you want to take preventative measures before that happens. And because it's an online subscription service, you can do everything from the convenience of your home with doctor-recommended treatments being sent straight to your door, and it's all much cheaper than your traditional pharmacy, about half the cost in fact. Not to mention you have plenty of avenues for 24/7 communication with a network of expert medical advisors, prescribers, and care specialists, thanks to a full year's worth of unlimited messaging that Keeps grants you with your treatment plans for you to be able to reach out anytime, any place, for any reason. So whether your goal is to take preventative measures for hair loss and hair care, or to stimulate hair growth, Keeps has got you covered, with physicians available to help pick the right products and treatments based on your goals. With the right treatment, most Keeps customers have been known to notice substantial results within an average of 6 months, and you can see right here what a difference it makes. So yeah, hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/yongyeah or click on the link in the description. That's keeps.com/yongyeah. If only Bethesda did to Skyrim's value what Keeps does to your hair. The news only gets worse when you consider the fact that Skyrim Anniversary Edition, which was announced last year, on other consoles is actually cheaper. As detailed by news outlet Kotaku here, aside from highlighting the fact that the Anniversary Edition comes with a bunch of DLC, mod content, and fishing, it was also announced last year with a price point of $50. And yet for some reason, the Switch version is $70, the digital version at that. So you can't even use the manufacturing costs of physical editions of games as an excuse for this price hike. Understand that even priced at $60, Skyrim Anniversary Edition on Switch would have been unacceptable, but $70 is actually baffling and ridiculous. Now, if you already own Skyrim on Switch, you can upgrade to the Anniversary Edition by paying $20 like you can for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X, but you likely bought the Switch version of Skyrim for $60, add $20 on top of that, that's $80. And if you've never bought Skyrim on Switch and are buying the Anniversary Edition, it's $70, whereas on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, the Anniversary Edition is only $50. The only advantage that the Switch version of Skyrim Anniversary Edition has is the fact that it's portable but it is a worse looking and worse running version of the game compared to how the game runs and looks on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Not to mention that on the Switch version, there is no official modding support, so it makes no sense for the Switch version to cost $20 more. And you want to know what the worst part is? Adding insult to injury. No, injury to injury is the fact that Skyrim Anniversary Edition on Switch runs very poorly, as detailed here by the following Reddit user who posted, "Don't buy Skyrim Anniversary Edition on Switch. Frame rate drops terribly." And you can see that for yourself right here as the player is running around the open world, that the frame rate stutters quite a bit, egregiously so. Wait for it, look at this. Look at the severe stutters here. That makes this a worse running version of Skyrim than the special edition on Switch. Whatever they did with the way they added the add-ons for this version of Skyrim, it negatively impacts the performance severely enough that this is just not a recommendable way to play. And scrolling down, you'll find details from folks who are speculating on what happened here. One Reddit user notes that if you reinstall the vanilla version of Skyrim on Switch without the Anniversary Edition content, it's back to being silky smooth as it was before the update. Something must have gone really wrong with the add-ons. Further scrolling down, you'll find a modder who claims that I've been in the modding circle for Skyrim on the Switch for a while now, detailing how from the testing he's done, turns out there's some absolutely abysmal coding on Bethesda's part that just makes the game stutter the more DLCs mods are added. It's been a known issue in the community, but never to such an extent, since there weren't many cases of people adding, 74 mods? We were able to deactivate all of them, and the game runs fine, and credit where credit is due. Can't believe I just said that. It does present graphically better with a negligible performance dip. But that one small little credit aside, I always regarded Bethesda as greedy, but this is just outright stupid. It feels like they didn't even bother to boot up the game after adding 6 gigs worth of content to see how it runs, and they're charging $70 for the full game? Yeah, wow. Just wow. Even if the Switch version ran well, at $70, $20 more expensive than the PS5 and Xbox Series X version, it would have already been unacceptable because it is still a worse looking and worse running version of Skyrim. But then to find out that Bethesda, after charging $70 for this edition of the game, couldn't even bother to ensure that the performance was smooth. At that point, it's not just greed, it's this cynical level of apathy. Bethesda's infamous enough as it is for the piss-poor technical state that their games tend to launch in, but come on, we're talking about an 11-year-old game, and you had all this time to refine it, and you're charging $70 for it, and you're charging $20 for the upgrade. The least you could do is make sure that the product launches in a sound technical state. Now, who knows, these issues may get fixed over time, I certainly hope so, but even if they do, $70 is not an acceptable price point for the Switch version of Skyrim Anniversary Edition. The least they can do is lower the price here to $50 and then lower the special edition of Skyrim on Switch to $40 to $30. You know, it's funny, it was not long ago that the conversation cropped up surrounding whether The Last of Us Part 1 was worth $70. At the very least, the graphical upgrades and the gameplay improvements of that version of The Last of Us are noticeable. I still wouldn't say it's worth $70 because they removed the multiplayer, they removed factions, so it's a less feature-complete package that they're charging more for, but at least you can see that there are significant improvements to graphics and gameplay and all these things. You can tell they put a lot of work into overhauling the graphics and refining the gameplay, so at least that adds some value to the package. With Skyrim Anniversary Edition, some Creation Club stuff that's already been out for a while that they've kind of shoved and bundled into one package. Not to mention that Last of Us Part 1 did ship in a technically sound state. It's a fairly polished game overall. Whereas with Skyrim, bugs that were there since the 2011 launch are still present. So modders had to go in there and fix all that stuff. And then the Switch version comes out and its performance is in a less than ideal state, and because the Switch version doesn't have official mod support, it makes it that much harder to fix the Switch version through mods. If The Last of Us Part 1 isn't worth $70, then Skyrim Anniversary Edition most certainly is not worth $70, especially the Nintendo Switch version that runs poorly. I really hope Bethesda doesn't get away with this one and start normalizing this kind of BS. I mean, they clearly think they can get away with it, judging by the fact that they made fun of themselves for the constant re-releases of Skyrim, the constant porting over and all of the different editions, with this Skyrim Very Special Edition trailer that showed Keegan Peele playing Skyrim on Alexa as a joke. But as far as I'm concerned, this is no longer funny. This is no longer a joke to laugh at. It's a business practice that has long outstayed its welcome. Or at the very least, that's one man's take. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Bethesda charging $70 for Skyrim Anniversary Edition on Switch. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.